Good morning. This is Janet Trevino from San Antonio, Texas. I welcome you to another Cuddlist Talks where we talk about professional cuddling, and I'm just gonna share a lot about what's going on in my world. And of course, this video is my perspective. It's not anybody else's. I know there's many cuddlists around the country and they have their stories. I do hope that if they're watching, they can comment below as I go through this topic that I think as I reflect back on the comments that we would receive on Facebook, usually is what I'm looking at. You know, there's this feeling that why would I pay for this? Like, I can just get cuddling and touch anywhere, and why would I go and seek this out professionally? And I think it's meant to kind of demean the work. It's meant to kind of put it down and think, it's ridiculous. Why, who does that? Who pays? And also it shames our clients. Many of my clients don't want to let anybody know that they come and see me. They feel embarrassed, they feel ashamed, they feel if people find out. And that's why we have this confidentiality clause, so you can trust that if you come and see us, that we're not going to tell anybody, we're not going to share your name, I'm not going to find you on Facebook and tag you in anything. It's okay, we can hold that for you. And so, okay, we're going to talk about payment, and we're going to talk about emotional labor today. Okay, so I realize in this country we debate a lot about what should be free. Healthcare should be free, college should be free, water should be free, heat, housing should be free, contraceptives should be free. Like these things we have, there's this conversation let's make those things free. And but we don't really want to pay for things we really can't see. A lot of people don't feel comfortable well, I can't see it, I can't see what it would do for me, why would I pay for it? And I like to introduce what's called emotional labor. It's a big deal. It's really difficult. Emotional labor basically is listening to someone else and validating their experience and feeling something for their sake. So choosing to take on whatever their experience is and feeling that and processing it. When I have clients come, I'm starting to ask them kind of a question to get them thinking. They usually don't have the answer for this question, but it's basically, what kind of experience are you looking for? Is it more emotional or physical? Because people tend to think they get heated up physically. They're more concerned about heating up physically, but there's a huge emotional component that's present as well. And so it's about, again, finding that balance for themselves. And so what I'm finding is we have a lot of myths around emotional labor and women and men, and what ends up happening because women carry usually the more emotional labor than men do. We're the ones that are kind of expected for free to give this to men. And I'm gonna pick on men just a tad bit today, a little bit. Now we'll say most of our clients are men, trying to still figure out what we can do to really encourage women to come and receive touch and nurturing touch. I think there's a huge need for it and a huge market for it. Well, not market yet, but there's needs out there. It's just about how to access them and have them realize how important this is. But our men. So what's happening with me is that I have clients that come and they start to feel overwhelmed with emotions. I don't usually know a lot about what those emotions are, and then they just don't come anymore. And my thinking, as I've been thinking and pondering what this all means, is that men are growing up, most men, not all, most men grow up not having developed their emotional intelligence very well. From children, we don't really encourage our boys to develop and feel these emotions, and so they just don't know how to regulate them. They don't know what to do with them, and when they come to the surface, it usually goes either into violence or aggression or into shutting down, right? There's these two extremes, and we kind of expect guys to do that. We've allowed, we've said it's okay if they, or they get, really, really clingy or control. It's either control and aggression, or they just kind of go away because the emotions are too overwhelming. And women, since I guess childhood, we're expected to not only handle our own emotions, but to handle the emotions of the men around us. And so if you're a woman and you're watching this, I do encourage you to really think through the ways in which you're taking on not only your emotions, but the emotions of other people, other men, and seeing that you're in relationships with people that that not only when you share your emotions that they share back, right? Like that you both can take care of each other. Hello, Paul. There's Paul from the UK. Mwah. Kisses to the UK. I guess it's in the afternoon right now. So anyway, hello. All right, so going back to how most men aren't nurtured in their emotions. And there was a quote that I read of an emotional labor recipient who admits this. I'm embarrassed to not be good at this. I need help with it. I was not taught these skills, and that is unfair to me and to those I love. So men come to session with me and they feel emotions. They're not used to those emotions. They're not sure what to do with them. I, of course, encourage going to a therapist and processing that. And so what I'm finding is when I've mentioned professional cuddling with people, it's not, and then they usually say, oh, well, how do you handle, the sexualization of it? How do you handle that people might want to do something sexual? And I'm finding that that's actually not the biggest issue with me. I don't have problems with, usually the sex part, because usually beforehand in our screening and our conversations before, we've addressed that this is a non-sexual experience, and we do a lot of good explaining that part, because it's something that it's tangible. We can experience, we can see it, we can feel it, we know when it's sexual, right? It's like you're like, this is what this is. But the part that I'm right now starting to figure out and embrace is not the sexualization of cuddling. It is the emotional atrophy that I see present. Well, let that sit for a second. Think about that. Thanks, Paul, for your comment. He says, I struggle with my emotional well-being. It's the emotional atrophy that many of my clients have. Now, why is this happening? How is this coming to the surface? I'd like to explain to you what the sessions look like, at least from me. Sessions are about unconditional love and compassion. They're about non-judgment and not demanding a thing from you. You truly come and receive everything you've ever wanted: care, attention, affection, nurture, intimacy. And a lot of these things are unavailable in a relationship, because in a relationship you're dealing with all the junk and all the baggage and all the stuff, the stuff from your past. And so there's two people that are colliding with all of their baggage, and that's really hard. But when you come to a Cuddlist, that baggage isn't present. I'm not bringing my baggage. I'm not triggering you, and you're bringing yours, but it's received with love and with compassion. And so guess what happens? That client usually reverts back to some part in their life, sometimes childhood, and that child needs to receive that love, and that child needs to experience this warmth, and all these emotions come to the surface, and they're overwhelming. And then the session ends, and the clients need to leave, right? And those emotions, there's not a place to transfer to continue that work. So I'm realizing that, again, as going back to the original question, why isn't this free? Why do I need to pay for it? Well, think about what we're doing. It's powerful. And it's usually expected that women take care of our men in this way, and women need to stop doing it because, again, it's usually lopsided and it's not fair. And so, men, come and seek us. Allow us to be there for you and to begin to model to you, because I'm also modeling how to process these emotions and how to receive them with love. And when they come to the surface, get extra support, right? We can create a system, help you create a system, ask you questions to see who in your life you can ask for support around beginning to heal this. The emotional atrophy that, again, many people experience in the world. Cuddling requires everything. We give you everything. We give you our presence. We give you our time. We give you our love, our compassion. And in that, people respond with their vulnerability. They're risking. They're asking for what they want. So yeah, this work is worth every cent. Actually, for some of my clients, they think it's worth so much more than $80 an hour. They think that it's ridiculous how cheap it is. And it is what it is. Anywhere you travel in the country, it's the same price, right? You can go to New York, to Los Angeles, here in San Antonio, and you're looking at just $80 an hour to have someone be compassionate, to hold you, to be with you. And I don't think that should be free. I think it's worth it. So anyway, these are my thoughts. I'm having an emotional day. I'm having a deep day today. So thank you for listening, and we're here if you need us.